Wait, before you go into your usual fit of rage, before you gather my feelings and cast them in a damp, dark cage, I have something to say. I know that you know there's been love in our narrow way. We argue about my insensitivity almost every day, but you know I yearn to love you and stay. I know that you know we both have pasts that play a part. She never loved me and he shattered your heart. They left us both broken and scarred, but this was known from the start. I know that you know I struggled to fix the broken parts. We don't need more hidden expected fear or fractured dreams and broken hearts, both stumbling down a path that is unclear. I know that you know our start was enchanted, perfection asked and narrowly granted. But was it really there or anywhere? Or were we reaching, scratching in despair? I know that you know you set my soul ablaze with fire, and loving all of you was my one true desire. Surprisingly, you asked if I loved you. The realization is that you truly never really knew. I know that you know I was deceived in taking stock, sweet fresh love versus Pandora's awful box. Farewell is forced into my throat. It's too late to make time to wonder and grope. I know that you know to endure all that you gave, I instigated a grave mistake. Now I'm lonely, mistaken, and depraved. Assuredly, I've taken all that I could take. I know that you know you couldn't love me in any way, and like a criminal, I suffered for my crime. No ability in you to hear or attention to pay, but this mistake was all mine. Blinded eyes could not see. Then beautiful, simple Eros called. Is the gravest crime not to love me, or to know that I know you can't love at all?
Wait, before you write me off as cold, before you gather all my faults into the story that you've told, I have something to say. I know that you know there was love in my own way. Though my words were sharp and my fears held sway, I begged my heart to trust you every day. I know that you know I carried ghosts into your home. He taught me love could disappear, so I learned to survive alone. I feared the day you'd leave me here. I know that you know your silence sounded just like his. Each unanswered glance, each forgotten kiss, it felt like another promise missed. I know that you know I wanted peace, but fashioned war. The closer that you came to me, the more I guarded every door. Afraid of losing, I loved no more. I know that you reached for me with open hands, but every kindness made me wonder how long before you changed your plans, or left me buried in the sands. I know that you know I questioned every word you said, not because I wished you harm, but because betrayal filled my head, long before our love had bled. I know that you know I saw your patience fade away. I watched the distance slowly grow, yet pride refused to let me say the things I needed you to know. I know that you weren't the man who broke my heart, yet somehow you paid every debt for wounds that happened long before we ever made our hopeful start. I know that I loved you more than I could show, but fear became my native tongue, and trust the seed I'd never sown. So even standing by your side, I somehow left us both alone. Blinded eyes could not see, and frightened hearts built higher walls. Is the greater tragedy that you stopped loving me, or that I never learned to truly love at all?
Now that we know, love was never our enemy. It was fear that stole tomorrow, masquerading as memory. We built our walls with yesterday, then wondered why we could not see.
Now that we know, neither heart was born to fight. I mistook your quiet strength for someone waiting to take flight. You reached with hands that longed to hold, while I withdrew into the night.
Now that we know, I'll speak before the silence grows. No hidden hurt or guarded pride, no masking wounds that no one knows. I'll love you with an open hand, not a hand that clenches when it holds.
Now that we know, I'll trust beyond what I can see. I will not make you wear the chains forged by another's history. I'll meet your heart without defense and let your love encounter me.
Now that we know perfection isn't love's design, it's choosing one another still when storms refuse to stay behind, not because the road is smooth, but because your hand is holding mine.
Now that we know healing isn't found alone, it's found inside the daily choice to make each other's heart a home. Not flawless, not untouched by pain, but never facing life alone.
Now that we know our armor need not define our end, what nearly broke us can become the place where broken spirits mend.
Now that we know, we'll lay our armor at the door. No tally kept of every wound, no fighting yesterday's old war. We'll give the love we once withheld and choose each other even more. Now that we know, we'll tell the truth before it breaks. We'll offer grace before demands, forgive before resentment wakes. Two imperfect hearts, no longer prisoners of the past, but students of a better way. Now that we know, our scars need not define our end. What nearly broke us can become the place where broken spirits mend.
For love is not the absence of pain, nor simply passion's fleeting glow.
It is two hearts, finally seen, finally heard, finally choosing to truly know.